Hello. Today I'm going to talk about heaven. It's not a theology or philosophy, or it's my own experience. It's not something I have learned. It's my own experience about heaven. And the first time I was killed, when I was about 2, 3 years old, I was not in heaven. Heaven come down to me. So that's what is something I don't talk about. I only tell you this, and I jump in years because I want to tell you when I really was killed, when I was dead, really dead. And it was in April 2008, and I was in this uphill in my sickness in psoriasis that was in my joint, that is in my joint, that give me hard to walk, but that I had. And then that day I was going out with the trash. It was in year 2008, in April. I took out the trash, and then I should take the bus to the train station, and I should go to the bank. And I was in a hurry because the bank was soon to close, and I walk very fast and look at the clock in the railway station, and it was 5 o'clock in the evening, and they closed the bank at 6. But suddenly I felt all energy went out from me, everything, and I more and more and more it went out. So I could hardly get to sit on the sofa, and there on the side it was an Arabic man that sit with a telephone, and he was speaking Arabic, and I say to him that call an ambulance. I said to him, and he was scared and went up and walked away, and was with a friend, and they stood and looked at me, but they didn't call for the ambulance. And there was no people around, and I had no energy at all in my body. And there was a woman that I didn't know her, but I know her because I have seen her. She was this drinking that is always in the downtown. I was in downtown, and she was walking around and look for things. And she turned around and looked at me, and the only thing I could do was take a finger like this. That was the only energy I had left. And she came close to me, and she thought she should get something from me. And I said, call the ambulance. I said to her, could hardly talk. And she said, I go to the security guards and take them to you. So the security guards come, and when I saw they coming, I hold not longer in life. I let life go. So just when they come, I died. I died, and the security guard was on his knees and look up in my face and say, "Don't fall to sleep, don't fall to sleep." I heard him, but then suddenly I was in like a deep well. Suddenly, I saw with my eyes. I was in a deep, dry well, but there was no sounds. And then on the left side, I saw a funnel. It was a black funnel there, and what I saw in the funnel there was like arms out from those black walls around it, and I was scared to go in there, but the security guard shaking me up to life again. But I saw what was going on, and I tell people that they have to have that in their mind when they die and they are going into the funnel, and it's going to be the last time the devil can take you. That's the arms. That's the people that have going wrong. They are in the darkness in this funnel, and that you have to focus on to be in the center when you're walking, and not look on the sides, because there is going to be people that you know from the past that have died, your mother or sister or a child. They're going to call for you. They're going to tell you to look at them, and then you look in the dark, and then you are inside the dark. So you have to already know when you are alive. You have to focus on what really matters, what is important. You have to train you to focus. That's one of the most important thing you have now when you live, to stay focused on the light. Today so many are focused on these dark sides, those bad things, the hate, the political things. Those things doesn't matter in the long run. It's not there you should look at. So that's what I learned from that experience of being dead. And I don't know if I have the ears with me, but I had my eyes with me, but I didn't see my body, but I have the eyes with me. And so it's very important to teach people that they have to stay focused in this life before something happens, and only focus on the light that is in the end of this funnel. You have to focus there. You can't look up on the side. You have to stay there. Focus. So I trained me to do that the whole time. I am very frightened to go walk over a bridge, and that is one place where I train me to stay focused. So I walk over the bridge and I am very frightened, but I think, look at the end of the bridge. You are soon there. Look at the end of the bridge. Don't look at the side. Only walk. Focus. Before I start this live broadcast, I always pray to God. And this time, God told me that He wants to talk to you, not in the end of the video like He had done before. He said it's important to talk earlier in the live broadcasting, because people can't wait till the end many times. And why he say this, I know it now when I'm talking, that is a message for these kind of people that are full of stress. Is coming forward now. So you wanted to come here in the beginning when it's about 10 minutes in. Yes, I told you that. He said to me, shut up, sir. That's when you're missing. You're missing so much important things. You think that stress, that must things in life, you think you must, but the most important is not to run to those things in the world. The most important is to focus on those things that is important. And I am important. That's what God is talking. I am important. And you, the shortest time, the quickest way to do something in life is to focus on me and pray to me. And I will make your time shorter. So that bus you have to take, it will be there when you're coming there, because you focus on me and not on the bus. So he showed me a little boy. He's 5 years old. I have a chill over my whole body now, because God is touching me. He's inside me now. And he tells you that is his mother. I see him sitting in a sofa with a pillow, or if it's a teddy bear, I don't know, but about 4 or 5 years old. And he misses his mother. His mother is so busy, so she never see him. He's so much must in life that you have to do. you think, but your son is most important in life after God. So take your time, because there is a day where you're gonna miss your son if you don't do it. He's not going to be there. He will grow up. He will grow up and be out criminal person. He have not have any mother in his life, because you are running stress in your life. I think he thought say Peter, but that's a very old name. But God say Peter, or if it's Peterson, something like that. He say that to me now. So he say, okay, let's go on. It's fun sometimes, God. But he's serious. So about this with heaven. I was 1977. I was sleeping, but in the night I was taken out. I was out from my body and went to heaven. And there was a man with me that flying with me. He took me. So I fly in the air with no wings. And we come to a green pasture meadow. And the sky had no clouds. It was a blue sky. It was light, but there was no sun in heaven, in the sky. It was no sun. It was light, but the light come from a city. And I didn't know in that time, I didn't know anything about Jerusalem. But I know today that it was this couple that Christian and Islam have together, this dome cupola, that is the picture of Jerusalem, and that was in this city, and the city had walls around it, but it was a small narrow gate in the wall, and on the side this was a red like rose growing up on the side of this opening in the wall, but it was very, very slim to walk in there. And on the meadow it was like yellow flowers, many yellow flowers, but I understand today it was like stars in the grass. And on the left side of me it was a dark forest, and I understand that today that's where you go in and you go to hell, on that left side. And there was no road to the city. It was that you flying into the city, but in this narrow opening. And I wanted because even in the spirit I was curious. I wanted to see what's inside that city that was shining so much. But that man that was with me, he said, it's not your time yet, he said to me. So I go back to my bed. And I know today that that was heaven. He showed me heaven. And another time, in that time, 77, 1978, I was out from my body many times. It was like I was in a training to go out from my body. And one night I was flying out from my body, and I was up in the ceiling, and I felt like a fly when it's popping on in the ceiling sometimes, and it was like that. I could feel it in my neck that I was hitting the ceiling, and in that time my son was 2 years old. I saw him laying in the bed, but didn't felt that like I wanted to go back, even if my son was laying in the bed, because I felt like I was here and now, and there was no problem. It was so very relaxing. I didn't want to go back, and that's how when your loved ones is going from this world, when they die, often people is telling that they look so peaceful and they have a smile because they are in this that I was in. I am only here and now, and nothing is before, in the past, nothing is in the future. You are only here and now, and that means the time has stopped. There is no time in heaven. There is only one bright day the whole time. There is no time. And that's, they feel just in that moment when they die that I'm only here and now, and there is no problems anymore. Everything it has solved out. And then for about 2 years ago, I started to it. I heard from God that He say to me that I should go to someone that do hypnosis, because I have so many questions inside me, and no one could help me to know. There's no answer of the question I had. So he is a very famous person. He has been an actor in the movies, and his father is very, very famous in Sweden. And he is in a Buddhist. He's a Zen monk. He's on a very high level in Buddhism, and he didn't know what I was asking for. So first it was very, very expensive to go to him, but I have to. And first 2 times I was to him, he test my mental health, because it's dangerous to do hypnosis if you are not okay mentally. It can go worse if you do hypnosis. And then third time, I didn't know what should happen. I have never heard. But I have seen those shows about hypnosis when people are like dogs and these things. But that was not that way we did it. I have to lay down on the bed, and then he sit in a chair, and then he took me down in the spirit. But he didn't know he touched the spirit, because he thought he is well educated in psychology. So he thought that I should meet myself and find out the problems in me. That was what he did in hypnosis, to help people. Like, you can go there because you have a smoking habit, and he can take that away. You're smoking or drinking, he can take that away. And so he thought it was something like that. I wanted him to help me. So I say that to him the first time. One morning I wake up and I heard so beautiful voice singing in the air. And I have learned me that I should ask who they are that coming and visit me. And it was a beautiful, like an angel voice singing. And I asked this singing being who she was. And she said, fear. I don't know how to spell it or say it, because that's not the Swedish name. Fear. F-U-E-R, like that. I have seen that later on in my family tree, that I have those two people that have that name for a long time back. And so I say that to him. I will meet fear and ask her what she wanted to tell me when she sing for me in the morning. I say to him. And then it's like he take you on the road, the path. We go to a book and write down something he tell me to write down, and then go down in a stair. It's in a circle down. Then above there, I am in the spirit, and then he take me to a park, a beautiful flower park, and I should sit at the chair and look at the beautiful in the park. But that was only the first time it happened. Then I walk away of myself. I saw other parks than what he said to me. So, and there I met fear, that girl. But before I met her, I was walking, and there was a garden far away, and I walked to that garden, and there was a man that looked like Jesus, looked like in his 30s, and he have this brown hair, long hair, and he had that was Dan is his name, the hypnosis man. Dan, he be happy because that man have the dress like a Buddhist monk with orange dress, and then he have a mantle in red over his shoulder, and that was Jesus in the garden. I saw, but he didn't talk to me. He only looked around in the garden, and Dan said, "Don't you see?" I told him what I saw, and Dan said, "Don't you see anything more?" He said to me, and first I didn't see anything, but then suddenly it come like a white cloud. I say to him, "I see a white cloud on the right side, and don't you see anything more?" He said, "Don't you see any people or nothing, something in the cloud?" And I said, they're coming 3 men in the cloud and wait for me that I should go in there in the cloud, I say. And then I walk in and it was a tunnel. But with that man, it was a little girl. And that was fear that come. And I'd be surprised that she was only a little girl, like the same age as I was when I was most in the spirit. So maybe she had been with me already from the start. When I was 8 years old, I maybe met her there because she was about 8 years old, and I was 8 when I was so much spirit, and so my first vision when I was 8, and it was a problem for the pastor in the church. And she took me with me inside this dark tunnel, and she was, and I thought it was fun when Dan say, talking like asking question what I saw, and fear. She said, "What can I? No, I am just a little girl," she said. and she took me in, and there I come to a big room, and I be, wow. I say I could talk to Dan, but I couldn't move my body, and I couldn't go back to be awake. I had to have his help to come back from this hypnosis. And I come into a big room, and it was spheric room, and it was stairs in gold up, and there was a big throne, and on that throne was a huge man sitting with white beard and white hair, but he had a crown on his head. And as I say that I can't go up all these stairs. It was too much to walk up. So I standing on that first step, just on the floor where the steps was, and God was talking to me, and he said that I have been with you your whole life, and you are going to use you more, he said to me. And then I saw myself be, he had this like a stick, golden stick, and he took that on me. And when he did that with a golden stick, I be two. I split up in two. And that was because, I forget to say that, but I have asked what happened in year 2000 when Jesus Christ was standing in my home and God was talking to me. And I know because they showed me a clock, a time, and they showed me a clock in year 2000, a clock, and when they started to talk to me. And then when they were gone, I saw a clock again, and it had taken 2.5 hours that they were there and did something with me. But though that what they were talking to me, that could maybe have last 10 minutes. So what have they done in this 2.5 hours? That was why I was too damn to get the answer of. And now God is telling me that he had used me the whole time, my whole life. And then he took this and split in two. And then it was like the old me was gone. And this is what happened in 2000 when Jesus Christ was standing in my home. That's what happened that I didn't remember. And I was too damn to remember what happened in those 2.5 hours. And so I split up. First it was like a butterfly. And then, that butterfly, she is on her way to spread her wing to fly. So that's what he showed me. And that happened in 2000. But I didn't know that. It was why I left Sweden, took a flight to United States to walk around homeless and ask for help in all the churches. That is, I was in Virginia most of the time, and there is a church in every corner. And I'd be educated that God was always with me. There I have a knife on my throat. I have a gun on my head. And one time a crazy man wanted to push me down in a flood. And I was kidnapped once in a forest of a crazy man also. And I get help all the time. And I learned to have faith in that God always come to my help. I don't take it for granted. Never, never, never. You should be thankful when you know that that's what's God that helped me. You don't take anything for granted. That God have learned me the hard way. That don't take anything for granted. Be thankful for every small things in life. Things that we take for granted. things that you think it's only there for you. It's no one have put it there, or you have going out from a situation that could have killed you, and you should know there is someone behind you looking out after you, and you should not take it for granted. You should be thankful. So that's then I was to Dan 6 times, but the last time I was there, I it was scary. I was in like a cave with much cliffs on the side, and I was standing on a cliff and have the wall just behind me. So it was almost so I couldn't have my feet on the cliff there, and I was not scared. Dan asked me if I was scared, and I say no, I'm comfort. And it was a break. I forget what it's called in English, but it was a big hole in the middle and far down to the ground. So I could easily have fallen, and I was standing like this, and only hold me, but it was nothing to hold me in. And I say, what should I do now? So, are you alone? Dan said, no, I see a light is coming from up, from like a hill down, and it's be brighter and brighter, and then come an angel. And then, being this psychologic person, he say, does it look like you? He say, I say, no way, no, she don't look like me. She is so much slimmer, and she is so bright light in her hair. She is not at all like me, I say to him. And when she come close to me, she stretched out her hand to me, and she say, step out, don't be afraid. So I step out in the air and come to the other side of the mountain on the other side. And I woke up, and I couldn't walk any farther, and I was at a big stone, and I asked out, what should I do? What should I do? And there was a voice coming, and it said to me that it's only, listen at me, it's for you also. It's only to call out. Say that you need help. We hear you. And that's what they wanted to tell me, that whenever you need help, I don't mean give a new car like that, not a big house like or money. It's not that kind of help you can get from them. It's about spirit things, security things inside you. When you have fear, you ask for help to lower and or take away the fear you have inside you. Is this kind of things you ask for? It's not about worldly things. God is not about money. When I see people talking about to pray for money and pray for a new car or these things, I say to myself, that's not a man of God or a woman of God that asking worldly things, because God is a spirit and his kingdom is a spirit world. It's not something that is made of stone. It's not handmade. It's not made of man's hands. You know that the building that you go in on Sunday or Saturday is only a building to gathering, but the church is inside you. You are the temple of God, and you should not. I know many of the preachers, they are drinking and they also smoking, and you know people can't see you, but God see you, and he have not picked you as his servant when you do those things. If you are got the Spirit in you, the Holy Spirit in you, you don't do those things. That's it. It's like a door closed to those things you did before. So that though, if you have seen your pastor smoking or cursing just after he have gone out from the church, or drinking, or having girls, or wanted to have those petite, sexy girls, those pastors, it's nothing for you. You should go out from that church. But I know most of you are in the church where your relatives are. So you are in prison of your relatives. The pastor, the preachers, those co-workers in the church, they are relatives to you. You are family. So it's very hard for you to walk away from that church. But you are playing. You are in a club. You are not in a place where God can come in. He is not in that church. I have been in those churches where they have made drugs, the pastors, and they going crazy, but they act like they have the Spirit inside them, but they are full of crack. They are full of drugs, and you. I know it's hard for you because you are in the prison of your relatives, your family, where you have grown up, your childhood, but you have responsible for your own life. It's not your family, not your relatives, not your friends that tell you what you are going to do with your life. You have responsible for yourself, no one else. You can't blame anything on other people what decision you have made in life, because you have your own will. You are strong enough to walk away from those poison churches that doesn't give you bread, doesn't give you God's words. They only playing like a theater. They are doing exactly the same as they do in the club. And they when the camera is on, look at me, and they dance this dance that they do in the clubs. and call it the Spirit, the dance of the Holy Spirit, and it's not. And the devil is the one that pushed down people on the floor, so they lay and shaking and be out. That's the devil. That's not God's church. Those deliverance, I have told you before, the deliverance churches, those agenda is to lay hand on you, on your head, and push the devil inside your head. Those is dangerous churches. I tell you, because I was in Portugal in that kind of church, and the pastor wanted to lay hand on me, and it was a deliverance church, and I didn't know what to do because it was 4 men around me. But when the pastor lay hand on my head, he was pushed out. I saw him because I was lifted by God in the spirit. So I saw from up above how he be scared, and then suddenly he only fall down on the floor. So they couldn't touch me. God protected me from it. And I understood that this church is not good. And also, I have a warning to you that do healing on other people. Be careful where you lay the mantle, where you put your hands on, because I never touch someone that is mental sick, because that can come over to me. You have to be very proud, man or woman, that tell me that you are strong enough to could hold back the devil when you lay hand on the mental sick. You're kidding. That's what God is telling me. That's a joke. You are proud, and God don't like proud men. So I tell you a warning: don't lay hand on mental sick people. You can do it on those that is with these mental sick people, because they can be very stressed and sick of that this person is mental sick. Then you lay hand on them instead. So I have a clock ticking to tell me when it's time for me to quit, to not talk anymore, and I am going to stop here. There maybe is more about heaven I am going to talk about, but that I do that then in another live broadcasting. But now I am tired because it's much have been going out very much energy from me. There's something God wants to tell now. It's on me now. He's telling me that the devil is running wild just now. You have to be awake. You have to stay awake. It's not time to sleep. It's not time. And those plaques I send out in the world is going to be more, because you don't repent. The world doesn't repent. It's going on like it did in Noah time, in Sodom and Gomorrah time. It's going on exactly the same. But I have promised to not kill people. I am not going to kill people anymore. It's people that kill themselves by the way they do the world now. They think they are their own God. They say they don't need God because they have everything. And they fool other people to believe in these things. Like those plaques that's coming, they say it's a hoax. It doesn't exist. It's a political thing. It is a setup for us to be controlled over. It's not for our protection, it's the political things they do this to us. And they think so narrow that this is going on all over the world. It's not only in the United States, it's in every country. So that it can't be the same political people, not the same millionaires going on and want to sell a vaccine on these things. No. You are not your own God. There is only one God, and that's me. God is telling you from me. I am his messenger. And this is what he tells you to hold you awake. Because don't do things in wintertime. Don't do it. Do it now. It doesn't matter what's going on. Have faith. You need to be wise and have your protection. But you can do things, even if you are scared and have a low faith. But you can do things, even in this time. My people, they know what to do. They are wise people. My people know how to protect themselves. And protect yourself is to be wise. I have given you to be wise. That is not lost of faith. Faith and wise going hand in hand. That's what God wanted to tell you through me. So, thank you for watching. I hope you get something from it. That's my message to you, to give you something, give you your daily bread. So I hope so, and thank you for watching, and I love you, and God loves you. So be wise.